Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee, for allowing me to talk in front of you today. We're obviously talking about Bill A870, which would give a price preference to a new created category in this bill, which is women's veterans on state contracts. I'm opposed to the bill, Madam Chairwoman, and what I'd like to ask for you to do, I know Diane has indicated she'd vote yes, but I'd like you to consider pulling the bill after my testimony and not taking a vote on it today. And I'll tell you why I think that should be the case. Madam Chairwoman, you have done a tremendous amount of work, along with the rest of the members of this committee, to make a vet a vet. It's been the work of yours, along with the service organizations, for quite some time. And we have come a long way because of the efforts that you and your committee have done. And it's very important for the veteran community to make a vet a vet. And on the heels of major accomplishment in that regard, this bill, in my opinion, would be a step backwards. This bill is not progressive in relation to helping women. This bill, in my opinion, is regressive. A veteran is a veteran. And to my understanding, there is no disparity study that has shown in any way, shape, or form that a woman veteran is any less likely to get a contract in the state than a male veteran. If there is a disparity study that was conducted that shows that, then I would be all for it. You know, when there's a demonstrated disparity, we need to rectify that demonstrated disparity. But in this case, no such study has been conducted. And in fact, beyond just it being my opinion, it's required by law when you're going to segregate based on gender or race that there is a defined disparity through a disparity study that's conducted. So it's not just my opinion, it's a requirement in order for you to make a bill like this. So a proof of that disparity would be very important. Like the former Commander Hageman said in her testimony that was read by the VFW, we have a lot of other issues that create barriers for state contracts for veterans that need to be addressed far before this. There's a 3% set aside that exists today for disabled veteran businesses, and only 0.5% of state contracts go to service disabled veteran businesses. So there's 2.5% of state contracts that still are not being allocated to disabled veterans. So that is an issue that we need to rectify first. Also, I found it interesting when I was doing some research before this that there exists, since 2007, a New Jersey Commission on Women Veterans. What's interesting to me, though, is there's no information about it. There's no contact information. And when I asked the MAVA to let me know who was on the New Jersey Commission of Women Veterans, in 3 days they couldn't tell me. They couldn't produce any minutes for the last 2 years. They couldn't tell me when the meetings have happened or when they will happen. So if we're truly dedicated to helping women veterans, there are a lot of things we can do before we subdivide the veteran community anymore. And Madam Chairwoman, I'm not a woman, clearly. So in my lead up to this testimony, I did the due diligence of reaching out to as many female veterans as I could, many of which were classmates of mine at West Point. And every single female veteran that I spoke to unanimously thinks that this is not a good policy position for us to take. The only female veteran that you've heard from today was the testimony from our former Commander Hageman, who was opposed to this piece of legislation. I am yet to find a single female veteran that is in favor of the idea of segregating them from the rest of the veteran community. In fact, one of them said, and I quote, "I'm all about helping a sister out, but not when it comes at the expense of a fellow veteran." And that is a unanimous opinion from what I've seen so far from the female veterans. You know, female veterans, and my classmates in particular, and other West Point graduates, have fought extremely hard to bring equality in the military. A member of the class of 2000, West Point class of 2000, was one of the first female veterans to graduate from the U.S. Army Ranger School. And we have women like that breaking down barriers every single day in the name of equality. And this bill takes us a step back. Again, I believe it's regressive. I don't think there's any intention to do harm. In fact, I think the intention here is to do the right thing. But this bill, in my opinion, Madam Chairwoman, it just misses the mark. And it's not something that's truly going to be helpful to our female veterans. In fact, I think that this type of policy position could be hurtful to our cause of a vet is a vet. So, Madam Chairwoman, I realize that this is being done with the best intentions, and I applaud you for that. And I applaud the committee for the work on making a vet a vet. That truly is where we need to be focused. And it's going to be up to Assemblyman Conway and I to be the voice for veterans in the state legislature, because in 2021, actually, 12% of our state assembly was veterans in 2021. In 2023, it's 6%. In 2024, it's going to be 2%. And you're looking at the two right here. So I'm trying to act as a voice for veterans and looking at things from a policy perspective, and that's why I'm here today, Madam Chairwoman, to do my best to articulate that. And ultimately, our goals are aligned. We want veterans in the state of New Jersey to be treated well, to be treated fairly, and for New Jersey to be the best place for veterans to be. And again, Madam Chairwoman, I just think that this particular bill doesn't quite lead us in that effort. And I appreciate the time, Madam Chairwoman, and I'm open to your questions.